All right, hello everyone. So today we're going to talk about a frequently asked question for first-time buyers, which is what's in the box? So first of all, you're going to get a giant box that is going to be probably 3 feet long or a little bit longer. All right. Inside that box, you are going to have your saber and your blade. They will be together and they will be wrapped in about 277 yards of saran wrap. And that is to protect them. So the first half hour of your new lightsaber is just you unwrapping all of that saran wrap. Good luck. And of course, you'll have your hilt and your blade. All right. So with the blade, first and foremost, you'll see what I lovingly refer to as the blade condom. Okay, that is on the end that goes in the saber. That is to keep dust out, whatever. So when you're storing your blade separately, you're going to want to put that back on, but that just slides right off. You want to take that off first. All right, set that aside. And then you'll also get a little baggie, and we're going to be discussing what's in that baggie here in a moment. And then you'll be getting a charging cable depending on what core you have. If you have a barrel core, which that's this one here, it's a 2.1 millimeter barrel. And then I have another saber here I can show you. This is the USB-C. All right, that's the thin one right here. Okay. You will get one of these two charging cables. There's the barrel and there's the USB-C. These are just standard USB cables. These charge with a wall brick. Do not plug them into your computer. First and foremost, they are not data cables. All right, let me stress that. These are not data cables. These are not for uploading fonts or anything else. These are specifically for charging your saber if you're charging it in the hilt. All right, so you're going to use a standard USB wall brick, okay? This one is from a Roku unit. You can use ones that come with your cell phone. Just any standard wall adapter will work. There's no specifications here. I have also used it on a 12-volt USB adapter for my vehicle because I've taken my sabers to work before, and I've actually charged them in the vehicle using the included charging cable and the 12-volt adapter in the car. So it'll come with that. Inside this little baggie here, you're going to find an Allen wrench, some screws, and some little circly things. So first and foremost, your saber out of the box, take this apart here, it will have a battery already installed in it. Okay, now this battery is very difficult to remove without taking out the core. So this battery stays in there and gets charged in the hilt. Some people recommend taking the batteries out, charging them externally. That is entirely up to you. If you can get to your battery easier, I do recommend that. Otherwise, if you want to just keep it simple, there's nothing wrong with charging in the hilt. That's why this little charging port here exists. All right. So the battery's already installed. Typically the blade retention screw, that's this here, that will already be installed. So what that is when you put the blade in, all right, so we put the blade here down in the emitter. This little Allen wrench is used to tighten this screw right here, all right? And then as you can see, now the blade will not come out. Sometimes there's one, sometimes there's two. I even have a saber that has 4. It just all depends on the type of emitter and all that stuff. Like this one here, I could put a second screw right here in this hole. There we go. In that hole right there. And have 2, but I find with the Invictus, 1 screw is enough. But again, it depends on the emitter, the type of saber you got, whatever. Sometimes you're going to want more than just 1. Now, when the blade is out, you can just loosen this up a little bit. You see it's still in there, all right? Just sticking out just a little bit there. Not a big deal, but it's enough that it's not, sticking through here. So you can slide the blade in. Sometimes you might unscrewed a little bit too far, if you're traveling in a vehicle or whatever, and it's, you know, rattling around, that can vibrate out. But if that happens, that's what the little baggie's for. So it comes with extra screws in 2 different sizes. You have a long one and a short one. Which one you use is entirely up to you. They're both threaded exactly the same. You'll see that, well, I just dropped that one on the floor, but we'll never see that one again. You will see that one end is flat. Well, it's divoted, but just try to see if I can get this to focus a little bit here. There we go. Perfect. And then the other end has this deep hole in it, and that is for the Allen wrench, obviously. All right. So there we go. So just like I dropped that one on the floor, and we'll probably, like I said, never see it again. Okay, I lied. I found it. I finished just having a black carpet. It falls out, you drop it on the floor, whatever. That's what the spare retention screws are. If for whatever reason you lose this baggie here, you can buy more retention screws, Allen wrenches, all this stuff that you see here. You can buy on Crimson Dawn's website and get replacements. But they give you these replacements here, give or take 5 or 6. I don't know if it's a set number. I never really counted. But you get several spare screws. Again, you get the really thin ones, and then you get to the thicker ones. Both of these work for blade retention. You might also get this one here, this little guy. You might notice this has a pointy end on it, right? Little drill tip. So the reason for that is, and I'm going to pull out a custom saber that I built. So this is the Oathkeeper crossguard, right? This is held on, okay, with just this retention screw right here. It does not actually screw into anything. It's just held on with that screw. That little pointy screw, you might get this with sabers that have this Oathkeeper crossguard, or if you have a saber that has a sleeve like this one does. See this sleeve here slides up over the hilt. Again, retention screw right there holds on to, keeps it in place. There's actually 2, one on each side. So what that pointy one is that's just to hold those extra parts onto the saber if your saber comes with those parts, mind you. And then lastly, you have these little circles here, and this is the most asked about thing that comes with sabers. A lot of people don't know these here. These are called timing shims. All right. So what they do is, and I'm gonna use my custom saber again. What these do is if your emitter, like, okay, you see how this point comes up, but it's not perfectly angled, you know, between these two. If only my emitter was here instead of all the way, you know, the other way. What I would do is I would take that emitter off. I would just unscrew that, okay? And place these down on the thread. I use this one here as an example. All right, so it doesn't have to just be the emitter. You can use the grip or any other part for that matter. But you'll take this apart, and what you'll do is you'll take these shims and you'll slide one, just do one at a time. You'll put one all the way down onto the threads, okay? And I'm not actually going to do it because I actually want to show you something with this saber here. But you'll put that down on the threads, and like you see how these 2 screws are now perfectly aligned? All right, so that helps you align things. If you look at the emitter on this one, so the screws line up with the switch. Well, it's not 100% perfect, but the screws are way over here because you see how this emitter kind of has this gap here? I wanted this gap more on the side. So I actually have 2 timing shims in here to straighten this out so that it's angled more in line with the switch, and that these 5 windows here are more angled with the front of the Saber versus, you know, slightly being off-centered. So that is what the timing shims are for, is it just helps you align certain things like the emitter, or like in this case, the grip. You see how this is perfectly aligned with the switch? All right, so if little things like that bother you, if aesthetics are important, you just put the timing shim down on there, and then that prevents this from tightening all the way down. So it would tighten, say, to here instead of here. All right, so it would just stop turning here. So now it's aligned like this instead of like this. That is entirely personal preference. You do not need these. These are, unless you want to do what I was just talking about, these are just extra pieces in case you wanted to. Now, if you find that the 2 or 3 that they give you is not enough, then again, you can order a bag of timing shims to get the exact alignment that you're looking for. So that is what comes in the box when you buy a Saber. All right, when you get a Saber that has, you know, all inclusive Saber blade, has the battery in it, charging cable, Allen wrench, spare screws, timing shims, sometimes a little locking screw. That's what comes in the box. Now, if you're a Saber builder, all right, so like this one, for example, all right, so this is part of another Saber I have. This is completely custom built, all right? So I bought the emitter, I bought the switch section, I bought the grip, the pommel, and this piece, all were separate, all right? So I also needed to buy a core because I wasn't buying an already complete Saber. So if you're purchasing a core, then you are going to get, let's move this up out of the way, you're going to get a little extra. You're going to get all this, the stuff you see here. You're going to get a charging cable with the core. You're going to get the core itself. And you're going to get these screws here to lock in the blade and stuff like that. You're going to get these timing shims. But you're also going to get these extra screws. All right. So what do these extra screws do? All right. That was one of the locking screws. So what these extra screws do is, in order, so here's an emitter here. In order to put the core in there, you notice that the button sinks down, right? All right. So that's to slide it in. But once it's in, you'll notice that it is far too deep to be used. So in this particular emitter here, all right, you're going to get a long screw like this, and you're also going to get what are called self-tapping screws. These are the little pointy ones here. You can see maybe. There we go. So when you put the core in, you'll see on the back there's these 2 holes. All right. So what you do is, I already got the screws for this. You'll put the self-tapping screw in. The Allen wrench that you got works on all of these screws, by the way. It's all of them, every single one of them. And you'll use this, and you'll put that first one in. Now that locks the core in. That doesn't move around, but that doesn't fix this problem. So you'll use a longer one like this, and that goes in this second hole here, okay? And make sure you got the right end. Same thing with the blade retention screws. One end's got the thing for the Allen wrench, the other side's flat. Just mainly put that down in as far as your fingers will make it go. And then as I tighten this, see how the switch is coming up? See? Nice and sturdy. Now, others, like this custom one here, and I have this piece covering it. The screws will be on the front, okay, right here. And I'm going to take this back apart real quick and show you. And literally, this is how easy it is to install a new core. So if you get a baselit and you want to go NeoPixel later, it's literally this fast. All right, drop that button down. You'll see here. No, it's way down in there, but there'd be 2 pins here and here, and here we go. These screws here with this little rounded head, okay, these would go down inside and grab that, and it would pull the switch. It would pull the switch up to the top. So it's either going to be the front or the back is how the switch is secured in the emitters. So yeah, so they don't know what kind of switch section you have. They don't know if it's this kind with the screws in the front. They don't know if it's this kind with the screw on the back. Same with this one. So they're going to give you a set of screws when you buy a core. Now, that's just if you buy the core. They're going to give you these screws here to secure that core in your new switch section, depending on which switch section you purchased. So yeah, anytime you order a Saber from Crimson Dawn, these are the things that comes in the box. You're going to get your hilt, your blade, charging cable, spare screws, timing shims, possible securement screw, blade condom, and most of that's going to come in this little baggie here. And yeah, that's everything you need for your Saber. And again, when it comes to the blade retention screws, you'll see this one has 2. This one actually has 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. But that's everything right there that comes in the box is for your core. That's if you order the core separate. That's everything that comes in the box if you order the hilt and blade separate. And if you have any other questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.